time I've gotten a live notification in a while. Music went way low. There we go. Okay. We're live. That's what I should say. We are live. Welcome, 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 folks. Let's get to work on the Voron 2.4. A bit of a surprise last second stream. Saving something real quick. Save it to my folder. Missed the last few. Welcome in. Don't knock it. Love the late PST streams. Yeah. Had a busy day and just didn't get to it till now. Unfortunately, wanted to be live sooner, but if it works for you, awesome. Welcome in. Just a heads up, be on the lookout for a flying V0 as mine's about to launch into outer space if it doesn't start working. Dark third dimension, good luck with that. Hope it works out for you. Hello 3D Printer Man, welcome in Connor. DS goes boom, welcome, welcome. I'm gonna take a quick look at this print. Sick, it's looking good. Base layer's laying down on the Prusa XL right now, so just wanted to double check it. Let's check second camera angle. Hi folks. Cool. Second angle's working. All right, today we are working on belting this thing. Get the X and Y axis belts on here, gantry tightened down, and see about getting a tool head mounted up on the carriage. I didn't, last stream, I wasn't able to locate the carriage at the end of the stream, so that's where we left off. And I found it 5 minutes after I ended that stream, of course. So I'll pop it back off of here real quick so it's out of the way. In fact, I'm gonna just do this. So the second camera angle, has a view. Yeah, cool. How's everybody's Thursday going? Mine has been mildly exciting, potentially exciting. We shall see. Once we get rolling a little more here, I'll talk about why and poll you all with a very important question. That is not the right screw, is it? No, it is. Okay. I thought I put the wrong screws in these holes, but I did not. So I'm using a Vitali carriage on this one. This machine, since I want a rigid mount, not tap, and the Chaotic Labs kit came with a tap assembly, so I don't want tap. MCU errors, my V0 keeps losing connection to the expander. Ooh, that's unfortunate. I know that's really common. I had some trouble with that actually at Smurf. The Cookie Cat V0 that I took to Smurf and gave away there. While I was there, what do they call it? The Pico-Bilical board died. Yay. Trying to make a clicky-clacky fridge door mod for my 2.4 because the OG doors are flimsy. Yeah, we're going to be putting click-clack fridge door on this as well. This build is getting that as well. Yeah. At Smurf, the machine that I gave away, the Pico-Bilical, died there at the show. Luckily, a UK reseller got together with the person who won it and immediately was like, hey, I'll get your replacement board. Don't worry about it. So, sick on them. I don't remember who it was. It was just somebody from the Voron booth at the time. So, I would shout them out if I remembered. Okay, let's tighten the gantry. So the gantry is currently loose in here. I've tried everything I could think of, then countdown to launch. Sorry to hear that. So I'm going to pull this tight against the back CNC components and tighten these screws in here. What are you doing, dog? The dog is wandering the studio aimlessly. She's lost. She has no idea where she is. She's lost and will never be found. Okay. Those are tight. I'll try the couple other screws. Make sure I don't remember if I left these loose. I think I did. I did. Good thing I'm checking. I left all these loose for exactly this moment. I didn't want to tighten any of this till I had squared the gantry into the frame. It's exactly. Boy, that one was real loose. Wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't for the fact that it does mid-print and clipper freak out and stop. That's terrible. Whew, that one. Luckily that one is just a spacer, but that one is not happy. Don't love that. But that one did not want to tighten. Can I get that one out of there? Check the threads on it. This back one is not tightening nicely. Let's check it, check it, check it. Threads look fine. Is it not long enough? Did I hear the XL in the background? Yes, you do. The XL is pumping away back there. The XL is off and running. I just started the print right before stream on the XL. This, oops. I think this might be the wrong screw. This is 24. Yeah, I need like a 30 millimeter screw in here. I think I put a 25. This looks more correct. I don't know if I put the wrong screw in or it called for the wrong screw. I'm going to try a different one just in case. I'll see if it sticks out the bottom because I don't like how that feels. I think this is the wrong screw too. Damn it. Let me see if I have any 30s. M3 by 30s here. XL has a certain sound. Yes, it does. It is very uniquely quick XL sounding. That looks like it could be a 30. It is. Okay. A black 30. Let's see how this does. How's everybody's week going? Aside from Dark Third Dimension wanting to launch the XL or the V0 into space. Okay. Well, that's too long, but I like it better than it's too long, but I like it better than I liked the other one I had in there, so I do believe we're going with it. Okay. I think a screw needs to be like 28 millimeters or 27 millimeters. I wasn't feeling good with 24, that's for darn sure. Okay. Now, underneath here, M2. Got your 2020s threaded for the blind joints. Cool. Colored picked and out and shipped. What colors you going with, Don? Anybody who's not familiar, if you're not on my Discord, Donald is designing a Voron themed or Voron inspired PC case. And it's turning out pretty sick. He's been cataloging it on my Discord and I'm really excited to see how it comes together. Nuno, welcome in. Just kicked off a 21-hour print for the wife. Christmas present. Black GF ABS and either purple or orange. Ooh, okay. I vote purple, but I'm biased. Scrambling enough to get enough gifts printed to make up for being broke. Yeah, I feel that. Speaking of, let's bring up the thing I wanted to bring up real quick that I haven't yet. Christmas present to the family, basically. Let's see if I can find where I put the image. There it is. Okay. I need help. Let's see if this works. Yeah, there we go. Name help. We got some front runners, but I'm interested in some input. So, new member of the lab incoming. It's not 110% yet, but Worf. Ooh, I like Worf. I like Worf. Ruby's never gonna go for that, but I like it. It's a girl. Okay, so it's a dachshund poodle mix. May not look like it, tooty little thing yet, but it is a dachshund poodle mix. And obviously a brindley dark coloration right now, dog. So the front runner that we really liked, and unfortunately I don't think we're gonna go with, Logan. I don't hate Logan. My niece is named Logan, is the only thing. A little weird. What was I gonna say? Not my niece. My niece is named Logan, so a little weird on that. Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg. Our front runners are Nori. Ruby really likes Nori, and I do quite like it. I quite like it. Problem is that it reminds me of a Snickers bar. Snickers was one of the recommendations ChatGPT made. I really like Nori. We kind of were going food stuff, like vegan food. Like originally she wanted to call it tofu, but tofu doesn't fit. I think we're landing on, my favorite at the moment is waffle. I like waffle. Namely, Lady Santa's little helper. Lady Nadia Waffleton. Lady Edamame. Lady Nadia Waffleton was where I was at. Her name right now is Noelle. And I don't know. Nori was Ruby's favorite, and I quite like it. Good eve, welcome in. I quite like that name too. The only problem is, if anybody watches Nerd Forge, their dog is named Nori, and I hate to copy off of them. You know, it's not really copying off them. Like Ruby came up with it separately, but I was like, by the way, Nerd Forge, that's the name of their dog. So like, Cinnamon, yeah, I thought about Cinnamon. I don't know. Cinnamon didn't really ring with us too much. We liked it, but I don't know. So, considering names, wife suggestion, all right. Rainy, I think we were on Mochi. Mochi was a front runner. Nori, Waffle. There's something I told Ruby I'm going to call it Waffle no matter what, because all of our pets have animal nicknames, just like kind of by accident. They all kind of just ended up with animal nicknames. Like Domino, the dog we have currently sleeping under the desk right now, she is she's called Sausage. We call her our little sausage all the time, which getting a wiener dog is fitting. Our cat Zelda, we call Potato. Jean, we call Bean. And then Jekyll, our Falafel. We thought about Falafel. I don't know. I don't really feel Falafel. I don't hate it, but I don't feel it. We also kind of said, like, the dog's coming Saturday. The rescue is bringing the dog to the house on Saturday to give us a chance to meet it and whatever. Think about what you would like to walk out in the yard and yell. Yeah, that's been a factor, absolutely. And the other factor is, like, meeting the dog, like we haven't met it yet. So like when it comes on Saturday, who knows? Something might just feel right. I don't know. So it could all go out the window. I still think I'm going to call it Waffle. I reject this reality. I'm calling it Waffle. So exciting, but our legume. That's where like our we weren't really sure what to do for each other for Christmas this year, and then this kind of fell into place. Tahini. ChatGPT recommended tahini, and I don't hate it. I just don't know what we call it for short. Teeny. Yeah. So we weren't sure what to get each other, and now turns out we're getting each other a dog. Most likely. It's not a done deal yet. They could show up and say they hate us, but they could show up and be like, no, you're not getting them a dog. But based on the phone conversation I had today, I'm pretty sure we're getting the dog. Stroopwafel. Yeah, I thought about that. That kind of came up with one of our suggestions. Like I said, I think no matter what, I'm going to call it Waffle, just as my like nickname for it. But it needs a regular name too. But you know, it needs a regular name. Very exciting. Yeah, we're pumped. I was hoping to go to CES. I was aiming to go to CES in Vegas in a couple of weeks. A week and a half, I guess, really. And we were talking about we'd been planning to get another dog, and we were going to do it after. I got back from CES. But then we found this one. I submitted an application last night, and they got back to me today, and we're like, we can have her to you on Saturday if you want to meet her. And so it's kind of all happening so fast, I kind of have to just go with it. And so I probably won't end up going to CES. New doggos, that's what's going on when we're asleep? Yeah. What about Roxy? Not at all, because that's what my dog is called. No, nothing to do with that. Have the cats been consulted? The cats will be consulted when it shows up. I mean, they will have their chance to lobby their complaints. Whether or not they'll be listened to, I cannot guarantee, but they will have a chance to lobby complaints. All right, gantry's tight. Gantry is tight. Feels smooth though. I feel like this rail could loosen up just a hair. I think it's time to play that game. Loosen up a couple of these screws on this rail and try and get it to just glide a little smoother through here. I'm gonna back off this camera a second. All right. I hate this game. I hate this game, but let's play it. We're here. Now is the time. Now is the time. That's a new button. No, I'm not doing that. But there's a new goal button. I could set a goal for how many super chats I wanted to rein in, which I'm not doing that. I'm not pressuring for super chats. That's silly. Okay. I appreciate them, but I'm not pressuring. 1 million. Yeah. If everybody sent $1, we could get Nori, or whatever it's going to be named, a really sick bed. What about Apollo? I was trying to think space themed, since the channel has a bit of a space theme going on. But back to sleep, keep waking up in the middle of the night, people making content. All right. See you, Carrie. Good night. Thanks for stopping by. Inara. Ooh, I like that. Let's go Firefly with it. Let's go brown coat with it. It's funny, Selena has to take a, at work tomorrow, she has like a ugly sweater day. And the only ugly sweater I had to loan her is my Firefly ugly Christmas sweater. Sputnik, classic. Okay. All right. Phoebe Phobos. Ooh. Nyx came up. That was another one. Nyx came up. We liked that. Nyx. Along those similar mythological lines. Ah, I'm leaning on my keyboard. Okay, that's tight. Let me loosen up this back one. Over here. Get this kind of, just trying to get this. I can't tell if it's, I think it is. What's my favorite motor? I don't know that I have one. You talking like engines? I'm a fan of LS's. I am a fan of LS motors, if I had to say. Deanna, welcome in. Yeah, I think I'm a fan of LS motors. Probably not too helpful though. If that's where you're headed for dog names, VR6 fan. Yeah. There's always a VW person around. Ooh, Lilith. I don't hate Lilith. Though, as Ruby said, like Jekyll, our male cat, is our troublemaker, and he's named Jekyll, you know? So she kind of doesn't want to jinx this one with being named something demonic and or whatever right off the bat, because he's a troublemaker. He lives up to his name. So there's that. Second troublemaker, yeah. Okay. It doesn't feel much better to me, nor sound much better, but I think I'm rolling with it. Flora is a nice name. I don't think it fits the dog, but it's a nice name. There were a bunch we like just liked the name, but didn't like for the dog. So I don't know. We'll see, we'll see. Okay, I'm gonna get this keyboard out of my way before I keep leaning on it. Hey, keyboard tray. Hey, keyboard tray. All right. Great peers. Oof. Yeah, I'm not a big dog person. Very much not a big dog person. That's why when the family decided on a dachshund, I was not unhappy about it. Yeah, and that's part of where we're at, Thomas. Like we're kind of like, okay, we're picking a name, but like a lot of it is the vibe when you meet the animal. So we'll really decide when we meet her. Realistically. Armor 3D printing, welcome in, welcome in. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Rails are in. Well, rails feel as good as I think we're gonna get to. So it is belt time. I gotta cut belts. I wanna double, triple check before I cut, but I'm fairly sure that this is a 300 millimeter cube machine. Jermaine Spencer, welcome in. Blasting off. I rarely see the custom emojis used in chat. Mostly on Discord they get used. But, error. Belt length. Yeah. I want to see if I can find specific belt length here. Voron 2.4, 300 belt length. I know somewhere I found 1800. Okay, let's take a look at the BOM. Sourcing guide. Boop. And just double check. Voron 2.4. You know what? I think it says dependent on size, if I remember right. Fairly sure it says dependent on size. Length dependent on config. Yes. Gates belts required. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no. Okay. Reddit says 1800 millimeter, so that's what we're going with. I'll cut a pair of them. I've got a 10 meter spool here. I will cut a pair of them at 1800. All right, 90 centimeters. And 188 centimeters. Round up 2 meters just in case. You're not wrong. There. This is a 10 meter spool, so you are not wrong. And I will cut the second one to the same length as the first one. Second verse, same as the first. All right. Belts cut. Triple check that they are the same. What tool head are you going on? Just a stealth burner. Stealth burner with a Galileo 2 extruder. Stealth burner with Galileo 2. This is my everyday working Voron 2.4. I've been quite happy with stealth burner on it for the most part. So I don't really see a reason to change at the moment. Maybe eventually, but for right now, I'm fairly happy with it. All the other ones have at least some trade-offs I'm not thrilled about. Like A4T, I think, has idler issues, which might not be a problem with these CNC ones, but I don't know. As a musician, it's always confused me versus change. Hey, listen, I don't know. I'm no musician. I'm about a tooth off. I'm one tooth off, so let me double check because I want these to be the same. So belt tension is the same. Same. Squeeze tight. Hello, hello, Dat Mammoet. Welcome in. Okay. No, they're the same. Okay. The Z foot looks huge. It's mostly because of the extension on the front for the fridge door. Fridge door. Okay. What were we saying was the issue with A4T? A4T, because the fans stick out a little bit, your front idlers can be an interference issue. Let me pull it up real quick. A4T, Toolhead, armchair. The other issue is it needs a configurator. Drives me nuts looking at the files for A4T. Yeah. Because of the shape of it, where does it say? Prerequisites. To avoid build plate area loss, XY gantries that are within the same size as standard XY. Okay, that's fine. Slimmer than stock idlers. See warning below. I don't know what that's about. Oh, the front idlers. A4T can collide with your stock front idlers. I don't know if that's going to work with these. These CNC ones, I think, are, if anything, maybe bigger. I can't quite tell. So, only time will tell. Maybe. Hard to say. But, yeah. So, you need some type of slimmer idler design. I'm not familiar with these ones. Yeah, these are way slimmer than what they're kind of similar to what I've got, actually. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe eventually I'll put A4T on it. Who knows? But for right now, I'm going to stick Stealth Burner because Stealth Burner's been treating me just fine. I mostly print ABS and ASA in this machine, so the cooling of Stealth Burner is fine. Though I think it was decided today, I talked to Jason at LDO, and I think it was decided today I'm probably going to build another Voron 2.4. 2 more. I already had plans to build one more, but it looks like I'll probably build yet another one now. We shall see. But, okay. Belt time. Doodle doot. I'm going to stick this belt through. I'm going to start the belts here in my hand. And then I'll start, that way on one side at least they are started, and then I'll feed them through from here. Yeah, I was talking to Jason about, I just love to build printers. I mean, honestly, I just love to build printers, so I'm thinking about building a bog standard, like out of the box LDO kit, like not mess with it, build it how it effectively is today, though mostly from parts I already have. So like Revo Voron nozzle, wristwatch extruder. So really straightforward to say. Because for box turtle build. So we were talking about box turtle. And when I have time, I'm going to build a box turtle, it sounds like. And I want a machine to go with that. And I don't know that it's this machine. So I think building a dedicated basic Voron 2.4 would be a good idea. That way, like, my box turtle experience is the most out of the box a box turtle experience can be. Because I think that that's a really good way to go about it. So when I get experience with box turtle, it will be how other people experience it. Okay, starting the belt clamp in here. Let's feed this through. Box turtle is a fun build. I'm working on the config and custom toolhead on my NG. Cool. NG is on the list. I just don't know when I'm going to get to an NG. It's on the list of builds, but don't know when I'll get to it. All right. Cool. All right. Both belts are clamped and they are equal length positioned in here. Great. That's what I want. Equal length. NG kits should be available soon from Fabrico. Good to know. Maybe I'll talk to Hector. Okay. So I've got my Vitali toolhead or Vitali carriage. I've got the two belts started on here. Tell him I said hi. Cool. You know what? I went about this wrong. I got this backwards. I just realized I've got this backwards. Okay. It's got to go the other way. So this belts come from the back and then grip into the teeth in the front. All right, I'm going to pull these through here just a little bit so I can have something to grip and then count teeth on the belts. Where did I just put Loctite? I had it. Where did I put Loctite? It was right here. There it is, behind the machine. I like building ham radio kits. I've never played with ham radio. Even when I was in the Boy Scouts, like we just never did. I heard about it. I knew about it. Saw people in the neighborhood with like antennas, but never tried it. I guess not being a very social person never seemed like a thing for me. Never much seemed like for me. Okay. All right. All right. Belt is started. There we go. That's the right way. There's digital modes. You can never talk to anyone. Just use the PC. Okay. Is the motor mount and the carriage all the same CNC kit? No. All the motor mounts and all the idlers and everything here is Chaotic Lab. This carriage that I'm using for the belting is from Vitali CNC. Or Vitali 3D on Etsy. Vitali made this. So the Chaotic Lab kit comes with a tap CNC. It comes with a CNC carriage, but it's tap. So the tap probing, nozzle probing, which I don't want. I don't want that. I want a fixed carriage. So I'm going with Vitali's carriage. Unfortunately, Chaotic Lab doesn't have a fixed carriage version, I don't think. Not that I've seen anyway. I wish they did. But wish they did. Okay. So I'm going to start the screws in the carriage so I'm just going to mount the carriage temporarily so I can then work my way around with the belts, and then I will loosen it up when I get to the other side. Running tap, not a fan. Yeah. I didn't want any trade-offs of tap. Like, don't get me wrong, when tap was created, it made sense, but like with beacon nozzle probing now, I don't see any reason for tap anymore. So that's what we're going to be running, beacon. Beacon probe with nozzle probing on this. Which reminds me, I haven't done anything about beacon mounting. I forgot. I have to look at the beacon mount for this. Thought about all-wheel drive, seems the rage. Yeah, I'm not interested in playing with it on this machine. This is my like daily driver beast, just like everyday printing machine that I'm really missing having. So I need to get it back up and running. It's my daily driver. I have plans to play with all-wheel drive on another build, but it's not this one. I have plans to play with all-wheel drive on another build, quad, motor, drive, whatever you want to call it, but not this one. I hope E3D comes up with a volcano melt zone. I'd try a PZ probe then. Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me right now. I love Revo, I really do, but I really want a higher flow variant. Okay. Top belt, come through, round this idler. Feed it back. Bam. Okay. I'm all tied up around the belts. Just want to get this belt back through here a bit so I can figure out where I'm at. All twisted up, that's where I'm at. Come on. Nah. Okay, I'm just gonna feed this through here a bit. Twist it in here. There we go. There's just enough room, thankfully, to flip this and fit it between the rail and the idler. Yes, cool. Okay, cool. Now I gotta come back. Having a fixed mount is just better for performance. Absolutely. Any plans or interest in building a VZ-bot? Yes, Kittrell. I have every intention of building one when Mello sends a kit. They reached out like 2 months ago and said they were going to send a kit for a VZ-bot, and I haven't gotten it yet. So when it shows up, we will build one. Definitely interested, seeing like, I want to give it a try, absolutely. But we'll see. Hasn't shown up. I mean, don't get me wrong, I believe they'll send it. I just don't think it's a priority. All right. Now this belt heading forward. Nura, you're not that late. We haven't been at this for too darn long. As much as anything, we stopped and talked about that we're getting a new puppy, so that probably ate up a few minutes of our time. Okay, you're going to be annoying. I got to go up through this idler. I should have printed one of Helga's tools. They're probably all backed up with holiday orders. Yeah, I'm also backed up with projects, so I'm not particularly worried about it, you know. I'll bug them in the new year. I will bug them in the new year and see what's what. For right now, whatever. For right now, whatever. That's the one of the problems with, like, woe is me, getting free stuff. But one of the problems with, like, companies sending you products is, wow, you don't really have control over when it shows up. So if you're on a time schedule and you're like, oh wow, I really need this thing, like now, it's really hard to make a company rush when they're giving you something for free. So at least for me, I have a very hard time with like leaning on a company being like, hey, you said you'd send that thing, when they're sending it for free. You know, like, oh, I feel weird about it anyway. Unless it's like a charity thing or something like that. Yeah. Like if I was doing a build for a chair for like Smurf or something and somebody was holding me up, I wouldn't have many qualms about saying, hey, I really need that. Time management, relatable to everybody, privilege or not. Yeah, fair. And plus my own bad time management skills. So that was like Jason with LDO today was like, hey, you know, Box Turtle's coming. Do you want to get a kit and build one if you can build it in January? And I was like, I can't build it in January. YouTube's never going to fix notifications, are they? No, unfortunately, I do not think they are, Joseph. Funny enough, I got a notification on one of my other channels about this stream, but that's the first time I've gotten a notification about my own stream in a while. So who the heck knows? But yeah, I had to tell Jason, like, there was no way I was going to build a box turtle in January. I just do not have the time. I'm going to build one, but it's not going to happen in January. Quite certain of that. It's going to happen, but not in January. Okay, come on through here. This belt's dragging on the other one. Come on. Okay. That's around there, that's around there. I do watch probably too much. Well, welcome in, Joseph. Glad you could be here. Anyway, we haven't been at this for too darn long, 40 minutes now. So, you didn't miss too much. You know what? We got more people here now, I think. So, yeah, 69. Ha! Look at that. Okay, so, since there are more people here now, let's do the announcement again. Looking for names. Our front runners right now are Nori, Mochi, Waffle, and I forget what else we said. Yeah, those are some of our front runners at the moment. So, looking for input. This Saturday, we may very likely going to expand the family. Mocha, yeah, I like Mocha. I do too. I like Mocha. I don't think Ruby really cared for it. The other thing is, like, I'm just going to give the dog a nickname anyway. I know that. Dom, hello. So, like, you know, that's a thing. All my animals have nicknames, so, like, I'm going to call it what I'm going to call it. Call the dog Voron. Specifics on the pooch. The pooch is is female. The dog is female. Currently, her name is Noelle, and she is a dachshund poodle mix. A dachshund poodle mix. Dark brindley color, as I showed. Yeah. Yeah. So, 3 months old. It is 3 months old, so a pup. So, came from, there's a whole litter of them. Is the dog open source or proprietary? Ooh, I'm fairly sure it's proprietary. Well, no, it's open source. It's got to be open source because it is not a purebred. So, open source. A bagel. Only because I've made thousands of bagels a week. You got bagels on the brain, Deanna. Come on. This belt's being weird. There we go. Did it get twisted? Got twisted. Damn it. Oh no, I just added color to the PC case and it looks too good. Definitely looking forward to seeing it after stream. We call Minnie our Chihuahua Pickle. Yeah, see, like we call Domino's Sausage. We call Domino's Sausage. We call one of our cats Potato. We call Jean Bean. Like all of our animals have food nicknames. So. Any mods planned for the dog? No, I think the dog is gonna stay as shipped. Pretty sure the rescue has a contract that says we're not allowed to do any mods. They probably knew me too well. He can't leave anything alone. Okay. Belt through here. Neuter spay is a mod, no. Okay, fair. Arguably. That is arguably a mod, so that one is definitely planned. That one is in the plans and actually required by the contract with this with the. Why is that bearing loose? Should that be that way? I guess all of them have just the slightest bit of play. You can use a Voron as a kennel. I mean, it's Voron kennel sized. You're not wrong. Hello, welcome in, Shannon. You're not wrong. It is Voron kennel sized. Okay. All right, there's way more than enough built here. Bearing shouldn't have played. You miss a spacer. No, it's more like idler. The way this is designed is like idler. Not idler. Fuck. Mammoot. Nice to see the new space coming along nicely, Alan. Any thoughts on the common anomaly Gantry? I've seen mixed opinions. One input before I rip my 2.4 apart. Thank you for the super chat. Mammoot. I have, switch camera angles. I too have a common anomaly Gantry. I decided not to use it on this because I have heard mixed things too. I just don't know. I've heard the 300 millimeter is the one that has problems for I don't know what reason, and that's what I have, is a 300 millimeter Gantry for this build. So I decided against using it. I've not tried it. The only person I know who has tried it had trouble with the 300 millimeter. They got like bad input shaper graphs out of it or something weird. So, no shims missing from the build. Yeah, sorry, I don't have any good input. Anybody, the common anomaly lightweight Gantry, if you have input, drop it in the chat. If it spins at a set point, should be no play, will wear. It's because they are pin mod. So these are basically like pin mod at every point. So there's ever so slightly a little bit of space available to the bearings to move, as far as I can see. I don't think it's a problem. It just caught me by surprise on the first one I looked at. It definitely does not use shims at any of the points. There's only like a few points in this entire CNC setup that use shims, and the Gantry is not one of them, so. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it is the way it is, but it is. Yeah, so it's more like pin mod where the bearings are kind of free floating a little bit in design. So I'm not worried about it, just that first one kind of caught me by surprise when I really noticed it. Has anybody have any issues with Orca or Bamboo Studio taking forever to load when they do? Home screen's blank. Nope. I'm kind of surprised there hasn't been an update in a while, but no, I have not had that problem lately. I haven't been using it a lot lately though. I've been personally been using Prusa Slicer a lot more lately. We'll have to see after a couple hundred hours. Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely be taking a look long term, see what's happening with this whole setup for sure. Evening, Palm XZZ. I just updated not long ago for Bamboo. I haven't used Bamboo Studio in months. I only use Orca Slicer in my Bamboos, so maybe there's an update and I didn't even notice that. I only ever use Bamboo Studio itself proper if I'm having a problem with Orca Slicer and I just want to confirm whether or not it's an Orca Slicer only problem. It's kind of the only time I use Bamboo Studio proper. I also haven't printed on my Bamboo in a minute, so. Reinstalled both multiple times, it's driving me nuts. Oof, that stinks. Okay. People wearing me down to order a Bamboo. I honestly don't know how much longer till I just sell my Bamboo. I've got the P1S, so I still have one around, but my X1C might head out. I don't know. Okay, this belt is good. Now this one's got to go up. around the idler at the front and back. Bamboo Studio makes my mouse lag like crazy. Weird. I was clinging to Cura for so long until a few months ago when I caved and tried Orca, and I don't know why I held out for so long. We all do those things, don't we? Anybody I can, I tell to give up on Cura, though. I will gladly tell people that. Whenever anybody asks me any Cura questions, I used to keep Cura installed on a computer just so I could answer questions about Cura. Like I could double check settings and answer questions. I gave up on that a long time ago. I totally stopped bothering with that. The only need for the X1C is if you need higher temp, is the thing I can say. The P1S is, doesn't go hot enough on the bed for me, for most part, which is the one reason I'm like, I don't know about getting rid of my X1. Gonna have to call tonight. All right, Armor, thank you for stopping by anyway. Have yourself a good one. Can't see this belt. There we go. Okay. Oh, fell off the idler at the front. I remember when Simplify 3D was the thing. Oh, as do I. I remember being convinced in my early days of printing to get Simplify 3D, and I gave it a try and I hated it. I freaking hated it. So I deleted it and I got my money back. And I'm so glad I did in hindsight, because it wasn't too much longer later that we realized they weren't going to update it for the longest time. I just assumed it was a cult, Simplify. Been very happy with Orca 2.2. Yeah, I was happy with it. It's solid. I just haven't really been using it because I've been printing with Prussias mostly. So as such, I'm looking at this print I'm running right now, just checking on it. It's looking okay. Checking for any issues. I don't see any. Good. Okay, cool. I remember about a year or so ago, you were really on board with the, I remember you not being too excited about Prusia too. Yeah, honestly. I don't know that I was ever super on board with the bamboo train. I always, like, my videos were kind of critical of the performance and the quality that I was getting out of my X1, to the point that I've heard quite some time that the folks at Bamboo weren't too thrilled with me for a time there. Yeah, I never liked my Mark III's. My Prusia Mark III's never sat with me. I never cared for it. And then I got a Mark IV. And when I got a Mark IV, everything I disliked about my Mark III's was gone. Was improved. So when I got a Mark IV, everything that I disliked about the Mark III's, like live Z adjust and how the noise it made. Honestly, just the noise of the damn thing drove me nuts. I don't know why. The resonance and whatever of the Mark III's was like specific tone that drilled into my brain. The Mark IV eliminated all those problems, went away. And I've just been really happy with the Mark IVs. I've got a couple of them now. I've got the XL. And the newer Prusa machines, I've been really happy with. My Bamboo started to really piss me off in the AMS. I met this guy. Welcome, Ben. Hello. My AMS on my X1 is just such a problem child. I basically cannot do multicolor prints on it anymore. And that was the main thing I was using my Bamboo for the longest time. A lot of Bamboo did what? Jesus, I'm pretty sure I wake up with nightmares hearing your voice say that. This machine largely replaced my X1 because it has a bigger build volume. It was doing better quality prints at similar speeds to my X1. So I was using this machine more often, just not color. But in recent months, like, I've barely touched the X1. I could probably count the number of X1 prints I've run on both hands since the move. But I unpacked the Mark IV right away. So it's not nearly as fast. The Mark IV is way slower. Even the Mark IVs with the high flow nozzles, way slower. But I've just been happy with it. It just works, you know. The profiles are really well tuned. TPU prints great on it. Like, it's just worked really well for me. When I think Bamboo, I remember the time you couldn't get it to start a print and drag down the Prusa instead. Honestly, yeah, that kind of stuff. Like, you interested in the new Prusa Core 1? Full transparency, I've ordered one. I also have a transition my Mark III to a 3.5. Yes, I am very interested in a Core 1, yes. I want to convert one of my Mark IVs. I've got two Mark IVs. I'm going to keep one of them a Mark IV, but I definitely want to convert one of them to the Core 1. And I want to get at least one more Core 1 as well. So yes, I'm very excited about the Core 1. I haven't ordered one personally. Want to see if I can get a review sample. I might even break my no reviews for that just to see how good it actually is or isn't. I assume good, but may not be. Who knows? So we'll see. But Ben, off topic, but are you planning on releasing your my part files for the Death Racer? No, I wasn't planning on it because according to Sam, updated files are coming. So I didn't want to release my files and then a month later, all new files come out that are different, you know? So no. However, I wanted to reach out to you, Ben. I don't know if I have time or what. We could try and figure it out. But I wanted to offer, maybe we should get together and build your Death Racer together, since I've done it once already and whatever. So I thought that could be a fun collab for us. So, don't know. I meant to mention that a while ago, and I just keep forgetting. All right, I'm just checking. Yeah, belts seem to be about the same length. Be interested in your video about converting. Cool. Uh-oh. Oh, this idler's in the wrong spot. Woo! I'll talk to you. We might have something planned already with more people. Cool. Hit me up. Hit me up. Yeah. Sometimes you just need a printer to print. Crazy idea in a room of hobbyists. Yeah, I know. And that's really where I've been at lately is a lot of the projects I'm doing, I just need a printer to print. And the printer that I don't have to fight is the one that's going to win. And as of late, it's been the Mark IV. That's all it is to it. The one that I don't have to fight as of late is the Mark IV. And as such, it's been winning. Just how it is. What I don't understand is how Prusa uses a PCB printed bed, heated bed, and it works well when nobody else can seem to make it work. You know, that's a really good question. I think it mostly comes down to cheaping out. Others use PCB heated bed as a way of cheaping out. Whereas I think Prusa has designed their own PCB heated bed for quality. My only guess. That's purely me speculating, guessing, but that's what I got. Why is that? This belt doesn't want to fall into the right place up on this idler. It's like stuck. Ugh. It's stuck up here. Probably Prusa has the cost way down. I think Prusa's been producing that design so long, but it's cost down because they've perfected it. So yes and no. I was thinking about it this week. I'm kind of amazed how good the bed on the XL is for how many PCBs it is. Like, there are plenty of machines that just wouldn't fly on, but it does here. I don't know, it's interesting. Okay, let's just check these belts quick. Pulling tension to just kind of see if I want to get... Have you been to Prusa yet? Nope. Nope. I need to beat up on those folks. Haven't been to Prusa, haven't been to Prague. I feel like the Core 1 pricing is cannibalizing the Mark IV. Absolutely. I wonder how the economics are working out for them on the back end. I think they've really perfected their process to the point where I think they're selling the Mark IV for what they can sell the Mark IV for and turn a profit. All right, Ben. And the Core 1, they just wanted to hit a price point. Like the Core 1 is cheaper than an X1. It's cheaper than a Prusa, than a Bamboo X1, and I'm quite sure that was the target. It reuses a lot of the same parts from the Mark IV. Like if you upgrade a Mark IV to a Core 1, you really don't have much left. Like you have the cast frame and a couple of extrusions left if you do that upgrade. So a lot of the components are reused on the Core 1, which keeps costs down on the Core 1. Like they're not retooling and making all new stuff for it. It's a lot of the same stuff. So that helps. They have US-based distro now, don't they? Yes. Printed solid. And that's another thing that I think is going to get interesting is, not to get political, but in January, February time, if the tariffs actually come, like they're talking about, if the tariffs come that they're talking about, Bamboo's behind the 8 ball. I'm sure Bamboo has a plan, don't get me wrong. They will figure things out. But like Prusa will be in a really good place if that's the case, where they're coming from the Czech Republic with their machines, which as of the moment, I haven't heard any European tariffs being placed. So that's a thing that won't really be an issue. Have that leg up. They have the printed solid connection as their US arm, which it's not just distribution. Like printed solid is owned by Prusa now. And I won't say who, but I have it on very good authority that if they had to move manufacturing of the Core 1 to America, it could happen real quick. So, are they going to build them in the US? They are going to be assembling them in the US. I know they will be assembling them in the US. Maybe not right away, but it will be happening in short order. Steve, welcome in. But they have that possibility, like if they had to, as they have a US-based branch, they could ramp up manufacturing in the US if they had to. So that puts them in a unique position right now, I think. Okay, now we can get this belt through to this carriage plate. Welcome in, Steve. God damn it. Steve coming in with the gifted subs. Thank you very much, Steve, for gifting 10 subs or 10 membership subs, whatever the heck. So we got Elizabeth Neiman, Just G, Dougal, Joseph Story, Schnabel Flob, Nadir Jiwa. Sorry for butchering that name, I'm certain. TDAUGHG, Code Paradox, Laramie Martinez, and Kevin Custom getting some gifted memberships. Thanks to Steve Builds. Thank you, Steve. Started making filament in the US as well as the whole line. Yep, may as well build the whole line. Yeah, I mean, they can, is kind of the point. Like if they have to, they could. And that's gonna put them in an interesting position in 2025. We'll see, you know, who knows, maybe Bamboo has some trick up their sleeve. Bamboo has a US arm as well. It's nothing more than distribution and, oops, got these upside down. It's nothing more than distribution and support to my knowledge, but who knows, maybe they could ramp up production. I kind of doubt it because at the very least their parts are going to be coming from China, so cost is still going to be up there. You sound a lot like Zach Friedman there. I have met Zach numerous times, but I don't watch Zach's videos. No laptop, I'm watching a stream. This is not a good time for an update. Rigged. What's rigged, Ben? All right, okay. Let's pull this belt through here, kind of get it seated, make sure we got belts at equal lengths here. People are making too big of a deal out of the proposed tariffs. The current tariffs are 25% and had almost no impact, which is why they were left in place when the current admin took over. Yeah, but they're not nearly as broad as the proposed tariffs. And that's absolutely not true. A lot of products did go up markedly when the tariffs went into place. Whether they were left in place or not, hey, I can't, whatever. But that is, prices did go up on electronics. Zach breaks my brain whenever I hear him. Yeah. Zach breaks my brain whenever I talk to him. It's a trip. I think we should prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Agreed. Like, agreed. And who knows, you know, it may not have any impact. It really may not. I don't know. Ah, damn it. I don't have any Loctite on this. I mean, that's kind of like we got a new TV. Like we needed a new, we wanted a new TV for the living room. We held off for the longest time. And then when we were like, potential price hike due to tariffs, let's do it before the year is up. And then we avoid that. And so we did. Like, you know, is it going to matter? Probably not. But it might drive sales of things just to drive sales of things. GPUs and mobile phones will likely be affected, but they already hurt the wallet. Yeah. First 12 to 18 months will be touch and go. I mean, that's the bigger deal to me with the tariffs thing. We're looking to replace our clothes washer dryer for the same reason. It's beyond time anyway. Yeah. It's as much as anything. Okay. I'm going way deeper into this than I wanted to, but as much as anything, my bigger concern with tariffs isn't necessarily the tariffs themselves. It's that in this environment we live in 2024, 2025, it's that these companies, like corporations, big corporations, will take any chance they can to raise prices on things if they have an excuse to do so. And that's my bigger concern. They'll use it as an excuse, and that's that. Check after stream. All right, thank you, Ben. That's my bigger concern. All right, belt is equal length. I kind of nailed that. Woo! Big corporate money grab. Yeah, I mean, who knows, you know? It may not happen. It may not be a thing at all. I don't know. I'm gonna loosen up these tensioners a little bit. Hello from France. Welcome in Layden, or lay down. I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher that name. Laydn. I can see fuel prices going up. Yeah, I mean Canada. A lot of oil comes from Canada. I mean, tariffs last time around really did affect lumber prices coming out of Canada, so that'll be an issue too. Okay, I need one tooth. No, that looks pretty good. All right. I try to get these belts pulled. I try to get these belts pulled as tight as I can with the tensioners totally loosened up. Okay, I'm gonna tighten this in here quick. And 1 second. Okay. That started in there. So the belts are kind of held. And I want to put a couple of screws in here. Oh, dang. Yeah, they're there. And strangely, Christmas trees. Yeah. Ah, dang it. So those Canadians, you can't trust them, like Ben over there. Can't trust the Canadians, America's hat. Well, it's the gray stuff on the bottom there. It's actually shiny, it's just not showing up very well. It's, this is all, hey now, come on, you know I'm joking. You know I'm joking. This is all Dynamat. So it's Dynamat. Dynamat put underneath the bed to keep the heat inside the chamber and reflect it up into the chamber and not let it get down to the electronics box. I don't know. Does it do anything? I have no idea. I did it when I built the machine because I was like, why not? So here we are. I feel bad for my fellow Canadians who will sell overpriced maple syrup too. Dampened plastic noise too. I mean, it would, but my my bottom panel, or my panel is ACM. So it's the aluminum with plastic sandwiched in between aluminum. So major breakthrough. Think part of the problem with the V0 was the filament I was using, Overture ASA. Good luck with that. I'm not a fan of Overture filaments personally, so I've never really had luck with Overture filaments. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was a problem you're having. Okay. All right, belt looks even. I'm going to, here's something I do. Let's zoom in real quick. Something I do when I'm tensioning like this is, give me a second, kiddo. I will use a pair of pliers and I will grab my belts and I will twist, trying to pull one more tooth through there on both of them. And then I will tighten my clamp. All right, let me double check that the belts are at equal length. Yep, equal length. So I got my belts. Now I've pre-tightened them a little bit, so when they break in a little, I'll have way more adjustment for long term. Actually, I might have gone even a little tight on them, but the belts will break in, so I'm not too worried about that. I won't do input shaper tuning until I break the belts in anyway. Something I've been doing lately when I do new belts or new builds is I will just like slice a vase mode print and I won't even bother to load up filament, but I'll just let it spin, spin, spin for hours to break in belts. So I like Polymaker Prushiment a lot. Never had issues with their ASA. Agreed. Lately I've been using Polymaker Prushiment for ASA. Polymaker ASA is a godsend. I love that stuff. Prushiment ASA is excellent as well. And Cookie CAD and Protopasta for PLA. Actually, I've got a bunch of Airy one here too that has been kind of interesting. FlashForge ASA is treating me well. I'll have to give that a try. put some Loctite on these carriage screws. Loctite on the carriage screws. I've been using Polymaker ASA, haven't tried Prusament yet, but finally got enough Prusameters to get a free roll. Cool. The standard black Polymaker ASA is not black though. Yeah, it is not. If you want black, you need jet black. The plain black is just dark, dark, dark gray. Yeah, they do have jet black now. All the black parts on this that are printed are regular black Polymaker, so I know what you mean. I've got jet black here, but yeah. Yeah, I like jet black, but I still use regular black more often. Just, I don't know, kind of default. I've used it for so long, I don't really care that it's not black, personally. All right, let's tighten these. Tighten our carriage screws to this carriage block. Why are you fighting me? Is this the wrong size hex? I just can't see the hex from this angle. Night, everyone. Bear Cool, thank you for stopping by. Have a good one. Have a good day at work. Buy 5 kilograms of it, not gonna lie. I love the galaxy colors. Yeah, I quite like galaxy colors as well. My trident is galaxy blue. Going DH, welcome in. Hello, hello. Is the jet black matte or glossy? It's a hair glossy. Ever so slightly glossy. It's glossy like all ASAs kind of are. Pop colors are good too. Yeah, pop colors are really fun. I quite like the pop colors. Okay, those are tight. Tighten the belt clamps, make sure they're good. You fix portrait screen on your Mercury 1? Nope. My portrait screen issue on the Mercury 1 is still an issue. West 3D Ambrosia is good too. Yeah, I have not had a chance. Like, I have a couple spools of West 3D Ambrosia, and I've just never printed with it. I really want to, especially with how close they are to me. I really, really need to, because that's an excellent source for me to just like literally be down the road effectively. It's not literally down the road, but they are very close to me. So I do need to give it more of a try. Okay, just checking all of these like motor mounts and stuff for tight, because I left all this kind of loose till I got it in here to let everything kind of find its home properly. That's the one problem with CNC components like we're building here, is everything's a lot more rigid, so you're very fixed in position. So give is not nearly as prevalent. So got to be mindful of that. You're not going to have give in your parts. In 3D print terms, they're across the street. Yeah, pretty much. You're right. In terms of 3D printing, they're across the street. When I lived in Philadelphia, I had printed solid pretty close to me, but West 3D is like 3 times closer than that. So they're literally down the road from me, between work and home, less than 10 minutes. Oh, see, you're lucky. They're not quite that close for me. They're not far, but they're not that close. Uh-oh. Damn it, the screw's not catching. Why is this screw not catching? Because it's one of these. Some of these, if you didn't see last stream, some of these screws are tapered at the tip. That came in this kit, and as such, they don't grab like they should to start, and it's really frustrating. Some of them are, and some of them aren't, and it's so frustrating. All right, let's check the rest of these for tight. I'll deal with that later. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I'll deal with it later. I got to dig around and see if I can't find a slightly longer M5 for that, or at least one that's threaded all the way to the end. Domino, what are you doing? Move this to the back. Tighten this tighten this in. Yeah. I got 1 or 2 screws I forgot to tighten underneath this gantry. Tighten these while I can. Held back against this rail. Okay. Yeah, this belt. Phew. Okay. Okay. Are these tight underneath this carriage, this gantry? Check all these screws for tight. Great. Okay. All right. I love that sound. The fun robot sounds. All right, now I got a ton of extra belt I can chop off. I'm gonna leave it a little long for just now in case I wanna tweak anything here. But for the moment, I can lose some belt. Cool. All right. All right. Cool. We are belted, tool head mounted. Now the only thing I'm not sure about is Vitali carriage. Can I mount? With the Vitali carriage, can I mount beacon directly to it, or do I need a printed mount? I forget. And also Vitali carriage, I need X-axis limit switch mount too. I think I'm gonna have to play with those. Yeah, there's a printed part for the X end stop. And it looks like just spacers for beacon mount. So, okay. Spacers for beacon mount. And it looks like I'm probably going to remix my own end stop mount for, because this end stop mount is pretty clearly like just hacked off of a stealth burner, it looks like. Am I eventually considering box turtle? Yes, we talked about that a little earlier in stream. I will be doing a box turtle. Yes. So I will be doing a box turtle, and I need some spacers for my beacon mount. So I'll have to play with that. I'll mess with that after stream, most likely. Yes, so I will be doing a box turtle build. I'm also probably, what we talked about is I'm probably gonna do another 2.4 to go with the box turtle. I don't really want to put the box turtle on this machine, I don't think. And I definitely don't want to put it on my Trident. So it needs a home. So I might end up building a whole nother 2.4 to put the box turtle on. That's where I'm at. I don't know. Just a thought. I'm thinking about building like a fairly bog standard LDO version of a 2.4 with a Revo and Nighthawk and keep it kind of simple. And that way I have like a basic experience with the box turtle. So I can get like I don't want like one of my mods or something to mess up the operation of the box turtle. I want to use it like bog standard. So yeah, we will be doing it. We will be doing it. What are you doing, dog? Domino. What are you doing? She's hunting around the studio. West 3D is across the street from my office, makes payday difficult. I get that. I get that. I would have willpower issues there too. I have willpower issues not ordering stuff from there as it is. Is there rat rig update video in the works? Yes, there is. There absolutely is. I was having print quality issues. When I printed the multi-board, I can talk about that now. When I printed the multi-board parts on the rat rig, they printed like crap. They printed really badly. And I thought there was something seriously wrong with the machine. And I was trying to figure that out. And I was actually talking to the folks from Rat Rig about it. And so I ran a couple of test prints last night to try and figure out what was up with it. Nothing. They printed beautifully. I printed a Benchy that turned out great. I printed a 250% Voron cube that turned out great. I forget where I put it. Oh, it's on the, let me grab it real quick. It's on the Rat Rig. So like the prints off of the, here. The prints for the multi-board done on the Rat Rig looked terrible. But this 250% Voron cube I printed last night on the Rat Rig looks great. Little bit of, you know, resonance, little ghosting at corners, and ever so slightly after geometries like the Voron logo and such. But like for a 250% Voron cube printed with a 0.4 millimeter nozzle at 0.25 millimeter layer height at like 200 millimeters a second external wall speed. Like this is 200 millimeters external wall speed, I think, maybe even faster than that. It turned out great. So I don't know what happened with the multi-board stuff. But anyway, all that to say, yes, there will be a first impressions whatever video on the Rat Rig soon, TM. I got to get through a couple of sponsor videos, and once I'm through the sponsor videos, I will have a little more time. So until the next sponsor videos come, because that's what pays the bills. Not an AMS clone. I mean, arguably any of these are AMS clones. They're not AMS clones, but it's a similar concept. So I can see, I don't think the term AMS clone is misplaced. But people asking about the Vivid. I didn't get a chance to talk to Big Tree Tech at Smurf about Vivid. I just had no frickin' time. Just finished my hour and 20-minute ride home with you guys on the dash of my car. Cool. Glad to hear that. At least we could keep you entertained, Jeff, I hope. So I do not miss, I used to have an hour and 20-minute one-way drive in my last day job, and I do not miss that at all. Do not miss that. Now my commute is rolling out of bed and going down the stairs. So, yay. Okay, so we got belting done. I guess we can mount the Hotend and extruder. I got to rewire the stealth burner, and I don't know if I want to do that on stream. Yeah, there's a few design things I need to do on this. Maybe we can dump into Fusion and do that. There's one or two design things I need to jump in and mess with. Can I run Orca with Marlin? Yes, you can totally run Orca Slicer with Marlin printers. Yep. It's been a long time since I've done it, but it can be done. Yes. When you're configuring printers, there are like presets of like an Ender 3 or whatever running Marlin in Orca Slicer ready to roll. So, yep. I was doing 2 hours there, 3 hours back, like 2 months until I could get one. And I cannot do that anymore. I do not blame you. I did an hour and 20 minutes one way, and it was pretty much the same there and back. Like I didn't really hit rush hour because I went so early, and we worked 410s, so I would be at work at 6:30 in the morning. So I had to leave my place at like 5 a.m. every day. Was it 6:30? 6:30, yeah. We worked 6:30 to 5:30 or 7:30 to 5:30. I forget which. Any which way. It'd be an hour and 20 minutes one way, there and back. So like almost 3 hours of driving every day. I did that for like 3 or 4 years, and I do not recommend it or miss it. So, yeah. That was so much time in a car. So many miles on the car. Because that was like, there wasn't traffic. That was just driving. That's the distance I had to cover. It was like 75 miles one way every day. So 150 miles a day. 150 miles a day. I'm gonna text Ruby real quick. Domino is circling me. Yes. Yeah. You want? Oh, you kicked my microphone. Are you starving to death? Are you starving to death? Woe is you. Woe is you. It's time for the second meal of the evening. She gets fed twice at night. Oh, your life is so hard. So hard. She already got DINNER 1, but she hasn't gotten 2 yet, so she knows. She knows. Okay. Toolhead time. Let's I guess let's get the yeah. Let's get this mounted up on here quick, and then I might jump to design because you know what? I might not even mess with this right now. So I'm just gonna be putting the stealth burner back on that I had is my plan. This has a Next G Hotend in it. Let's get a closer view of this thing. So this is a Next G Hotend from Drop Effect. That's bright. So Drop Effect's Next G Hotend inside of there. It's a beta unit that had the square frame with the ultra high flow long melt zone design. I'm planning to reuse this, though there's a little bit of distortion from where this thermistor hits the mount, and this mount looks like crap. So may reprint this, I don't know, undecided. So maybe we'll jump to design time because I'm undecided on what I want to do with this right now. I'm going to keep running this Hotend. I like this Hotend. I quite like the Hotend, but I need to figure out exactly how I'm going to mount it. So let's jump into Fusion and mess with a little bit of design time stuff, I guess, because I've got a couple of design things I need to address in this project. What's the difference between the Next G and other $100 Hotends? Flow rate. The Next G is really compact lengthwise, overall footprint of it, with the ultra high flow adapter. I have the Drop Effect XG, not the great on flow. Heats very quickly though. Yeah, I have an XG in the Reanimator, or XG in the Reanimator. The Next G fixes the flow rate problem, and it uses regular rep wrap nozzles, not specific nozzles, V6 nozzles. The Next G is a very small footprint. So I have the Next G inside of the same non-high flow housing that like a Rapido would fit in, but it flows upwards of 40 millimeter cubed. I run it more like 30 to 35 on a daily basis, but I have seen flow rates with the CHT nozzle upwards of 38 to 40 millimeters cubed flow rate out of it. So that I have experienced other than the Bamboo Obsidian Hotend. So other than the Bamboo Obsidian Hotend, it is the most compact Hotend with the highest flow rate that I've experienced. So unless I want to go to a longer Hotend with a longer stealth burner and lose some Z build volume, this is the highest flow Hotend I can get in here, is basically what it comes down to. So, yep, that's what's up with that, with the Next G. Now, caveat to that, this is a beta unit that has a square frame like the XG. It's basically the XG frame in the Next G, housing. Whatever. They didn't make this. It's a beta unit that they sent me pre-release, and then they decided not to release this design. So they released a different unit. I should have a couple of them here, actually. Let me see. Nope, that's an XG. Why do I have an XG? Oh, no, wait, that's another NextG. Is it? Wait a minute, did they send me the wrong thing? No, that's an XG, an XG. There it is. I got too many of these things. Is that Capricorn tube? Do you use it for that only for the short section of the stealth burner? Yes, that is a Capricorn tube, but I use for the short section of the stealth burner. Change camera angles. Boop. So the production unit of the NextG is this. So it's got a dragon style frame. The dragon style frame is still short, but it doesn't have chamfered off corners. Actually, let me grab the... Now that I'm just totally explaining hot ends for the next whoever knows how long. Let me grab it. I've got a couple of these. Okay. This is the NextG without the high flow extension. This is the one that I have in my stealth burner now. So you see it's got this square frame around it. Because of those chamfered angles on the corners, this fits into that housing better than this one does. That's why I'm using a beta unit. I'm trying to figure out if I can use this unit, the Dragon unit in there. I want to, I may, we'll see. I'm gonna try and fit it into the regular stealth burner housing one more time. I've tried before, I'm gonna try again. Because the beta unit version, this one with the square frame, has a little bit of heat creep issue. It's perfectly fine. Grinder will help. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's perfectly fine on ASA and nylon and higher temperature materials. It does not heat creep. But on PLA, if you print PLA with this thing, it can heat creep. Whereas the Dragon Frame one they found didn't heat creep. So that's why they released the Dragon Frame version. I didn't care about that because I mostly print ABS and ASA, and I've gotten away with PLA on this one. But I want to try and make a housing that'll work for everybody, because you can't buy this one. You can't buy this beta unit, unfortunately. You can only buy the Dragon Frame, so I want to make one that'll work for the Dragon Frame so you folks can actually use it. So that's Hot End Talk with Alan. Okay, let's dive into Fusion. When I look at the Fadist Hot End lineup, everything at that price point looks so similar. You're not wrong. I mean, to me, the NextG just flows better for the same price as like a Rapido. So it heats up as fast as a Rapido. It uses the same heater element as the Rapido V2 now. The one I just showed you is a beta unit that has a circular heater, but the actual release unit has a flat plate one like a Rapido does. So ultimately, they're all tubes of metal with fins. I mean, yeah, but it's amazing how much of a difference the fins and the tubes can make, you know? Okay, let's dive into Fusion, because there's a few things design-wise I want to mess with. I'm going to close this, because this is a project that's coming out this weekend you folks don't get to see yet. 3D printing. I know you can't see what I'm seeing right now. I'm working in the background. Give me a second. One thing I need to make is a mount for, all right, bright light. I'm going to switch screens here. No, it's the wrong one. That's what we're looking for. Okay. So in Fusion, let me open this up on my phone, make sure you folks can see properly, because stupid everything. Yes, looks like it's proper. Cool. Great. I need to make a mount for... I played around a lot this week with the Galileo 2 because I'm switching to a Big Tree Tech EBB 2209 USB board. So I switched a lot. Hiss isn't non-dark mode. I know, but I can't get used to Fusion in dark mode. I use dark mode on everything except Fusion. I just can't get used to it. So does it actually flow as well or better in a Rapido? It flows better than a Rapido. The Next G flows better than a Rapido. The Rapido UHF doesn't flow as well as the Next G, in my opinion, in my testing. And the Next G is a more compact package. So that's been my experience. Move my microphone a little bit here. Are those LEDs on the top of my machine? Yes, there are LEDs up in the top of the frame here that light up the chamber. The white stuff you're seeing is diffusers that kind of like guide the light down toward the machine, toward the bed. Okay, so I spent my week working on, or a part of this week working on a door, various mods to fit this, because I'm running a Galileo 2 extruder in this build, and I have been for a while. And the Nighthawk 2209, not Nighthawk, sorry, the Big Tree Tech 2209 USB board that I'm installing in here, we're switching from the CAN board to the USB board. The parts that Big Tree Tech provided for the Galileo 2 were not right. In fact, this spacer here is completely unnecessary. I hate when companies do this. I know it's like a thing that happens, but this CAD model is actually not accurate. It's missing some spacers in here that exist on the board but don't exist on the CAD model. And it made modeling for it a little bit annoying, but I was able to get it worked out. So maybe that's why I can't stand Fusion lately. Yeah, I just find Fusion does dark mode. Bright white annoys me. Yes, if you go down to viewports, no. Down here at the bottom, display settings, visual style. Nope, wrong one. I'm thinking wrong. Environment? Environment. Okay, so if you go down to this little monitor, display settings, environment, dark sky. But like for my eyes, I can't differentiate bodies that I'm working with. So like when I'm looking at this object, the object blurs into the background on this one. There's also a gray room, so a little bit lighter. Still, I suffer the same problem here. And photo booth is the standard white one that we're used to. Tranquility blue. Again, this is like classic CAD, classic old school like drafting. Infinity pool. This is a little lighter. And if you look at it at certain angles, it's white. It's weird. I don't know how I feel about that one. And River Rubicon. But for me, I can't get used to anything except white. So it's the only thing I use in non-dark mode. So, yep. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure for a lot of folks, they could get used to that. I just haven't been able to. Anyway, so I remixed the PG7 mount this week. I remixed this fan equipped. So it uses a 25mm fan to cool the board. I added in multicolor, and I actually printed this on the Prusa XL without an enclosure in ASA this week, and it turned out great. Largely great. A little bit of misalignment on some of the colors due to tool offset issues, but I've corrected those now for the print I'm running. But why USB over CAN? Excuse me. As much as anything, I wanted to try something differently. Wanted to try something different. CAN has worked beautifully on my machine, but a lot of people have trouble with CAN. And I find USB to be a simpler setup. And I want to test it. I want to see how it works. And if I like it, I can recommend it to other folks. So really, that's it. River Rubicon's my preference. Yeah, I can see that. It's definitely better than the darker or gray. I got to try more. I think it's just that I got so used to Fusion like this that I just haven't gotten out of the habit. So, okay, what I really need is, this is the USB adapter board for the Toolhead. I need a mount for this. So, you know, it uses your 24 volt comes in on these here, the USB-C to connect to your Pi, and then the XT30 plus 2 to head to the tool board. So I need, I love CAN bus, but auto background and trained CAN bus diagnostic. Yeah, And that's a lot of the problem is, it's been a long time since I did CAN bus stuff on auto, because like CAN bus was rising in popularity when I got out of automotive repair and went into hot rod building. So I didn't have to mess with CAN bus for a really long time. So, okay, I need a mount for this. So this is the PCB adapter. I'm going to start with the base of it. I'm going to create a sketch on the base. These holes are, I'm guessing 3.2 millimeter. Cool. So I'm going to sketch out a couple of holes at 3.3 millimeter. Now we'll go 3.4. 3.4 millimeter. How wide is this piece? I'm just going to VHB tape this to the electronics box in my machine. It's 22 millimeters. I've got some 3/4 or some 1-inch wide VHB, so I'm going to make this at least error. I want it at least 25.4 millimeters wide, so I think I should be like 27 now? 28. 28's good. I'm good with that. Wow, that makes sense. You 100% look like a hot rod builder. I was for like 10 to 15 years. Yeah, that's what I did that was my career before I went into content creation full time. Was I built custom cars, hot rods, muscle cars, street rods. Yep. Okay, so this standoff, I got a 3.4 millimeter hole. Wait. Yes, 3.4 millimeter, but I want to use heat press inserts. So 4.75 millimeters is my sweet spot size for heat press inserts. So 4.75 millimeters for those. And now I need a little bit of meat around those for standoffs. I always design with extrusion widths in mind. So my standard extrusion width for a 0.4 millimeter nozzle is 0.45 millimeter. That's what I design around. I know Voron Team's spec is like 0.4. I do 0.45. So 0.45 times 2 is 0.9, times 3 is 1.35. So I do 1.35 should be good for this standoff. 3 walls around the standoff to hold it in. And yeah, give me like a little base to work with, a little standoff to work with. All right, that is a super simple, but that's all I need it to be, design for a base for this. Let's look at this, see if I'm missing anything. I don't really think I am. It could maybe be a little bigger, and I will worry about that in a second. Maybe a little bit bigger footprint to hold it down. Ever since Arachne, I stopped multiplying by extrusion widths. Understandable, and I don't blame you for that, but I still do. I'd rather my design criteria be what I intend them to be, because Arachne cannot always adjust for what you're aiming for, and or it'll sometimes make its own choices about what you're aiming for and make the wall thinner than you want it or thicker than you want it, and that can be a problem. So I personally just try to design to the standards I want and let Arachne do what it's going to do. It's a good practice, easy to slice. Yeah, I don't really have to pay attention to slicing settings much when I design this way. Okay, I'm gonna make this like a 2.6 millimeter tall piece. New body. And where's my bodies? Okay, create the body. Now I will move it. I'm gonna move it so I can create a little bit of a standoff point here. We're gonna go 3 millimeter tall standoffs. I'm probably gonna extrude this up. How tall did I just make that? 2.6. I'm gonna make it 3 millimeter. The whole thing will be a solid 6 millimeters tall now. Okay, I'm gonna go around this and delete some of these holes. It's just an annoying thing with PCB CAD models is they usually have the pass-through holes, so you gotta go through and like eliminate these when you're designing. Annoying, but whatever. This isn't so bad. Like some boards have hundreds of holes you have to deal with. That's really, really frustrating. Your body, it's under your head. Yes, yes. Oh, I'm not capturing my design. Capture design history. Boop. I always forget to do that when I'm working off of a body. Okay. Reopen my sketch again. And now I can make my standoffs. God, my shift key is not working right on my keyboard. I keep trying to swivel position and the shift key is not responding properly. Okay. Grab this. Yeah. God, I've got to like slam the shift key. Okay. Extrude this down to the body. Join it. Boom. All right. Now I can hide the PCB. I'll hide all the individual components I've got to hide. Another annoyance with working with PCBs sometimes. You're missing a hole that still had an error. Thank you. I didn't see that. Boom. Thank you. Probably my shift key not working while I was holding it. Okay, my sketch can go away. Now my standoffs are how deep? They're only 2.6 millimeters deep. Okay, well, a standoff or a insert that I'm going to use, like a heat press insert, is at least 4 millimeters deep. I like to go a little deeper so that they set in from the top ever so slightly. So I'm going to go down, it's 2.6 millimeters deep now. I'm going to go 2.2 millimeters deeper. Now my heat press insert's boss hole, whatever, is 4.8 millimeters deep. Let me bring back the PCB. I'm going to measure. I'm going to hit I on the keyboard, and then I can measure off of the face of this PCB down to the bottom of the hole. 5.2 millimeters. So I'm going to reopen my sketch. I want to make sure that I have enough space for my screws. So I'm going to extrude down all the way through this. And now, if I check my board, again, I measure off this face, and now all the way to the bottom, 6.011 millimeter. So an M3 by 6 millimeter screw will work in there, but it's just going to be flush. I prefer to have a little more space there. So I'm going to drop this down 1 millimeter, no, 0.4 millimeter. I'm going to extrude up these insert points 0.6 millimeter. That should make these 4.6 millimeter deep. Nope, 4.2 millimeter deep. Did my math wrong. 4.2 millimeter is still plenty fine though for heat press inserts. So, all right, there's my bosses. There's my basic shape of this. Now I'll bring back the board and I'll tweak this a little bit. One thing I'm going to do for my bosses here is these are 1.35 millimeter wide. I'm going to chamfer this. How tall is this? I want to double check. 2.6 millimeter. Oh, wait, I can add to my board. No, I can't. What the heck? All right, I need to move this down. Move it down. I'm going to add, I'm being kind of arbitrary about this, but I'm going to add 0.4 millimeter to these so those holes are a little deeper. And now the standoff should be 3 millimeters tall. Boom, 3 millimeters tall. Cool. Now I will modify, align this face to the PCB just so I can have it where it's supposed to be. Everything looks good. Hide the board again. And now I'm going to chamfer the edges of these. Chamfer the edges of these 1 millimeter by 3 millimeters. So, in fact, I'm going to go 1.35 millimeter. So they're 2.7 millimeter thick at the base. And there we go. There's our basic shape of this piece. Now, I want to think about this. Everything here, like this is it. That's a part. Like I could easily print this component as it sits there, slap some VHB tape on this side of it, mount this to it with a couple of heat press inserts, and my part is done. But I'm going to shape it up just a little bit more because I can't help myself. So I want to extend this a little bit. I'm going to go 3 millimeters that way. I want to give it a little bit bigger footprint. So as I'm like plugging a cable in and out of it, I don't run into, it's not trying to peel the the VHB tape off the bottom of the machine as I'm going. All right, now I gave it a little bit bigger footprint. How wide is this now? 50 millimeters wide. That's good. So it's almost double long as it is wide. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to round the corners on this thing so that I don't have sharp corners for the print to go around. 3 millimeters. I try personally, this is such a personal thing, I try to keep chamfers and fillets. So rounding things off. I try to keep them equal or multiples of one another. It's a design characteristic I've brought over from when I built cars and I was a fabricator, where I would always use multiples of a size. So like those corners are 3 millimeter. If I had to do another one, but I needed a smaller one, I'd do 1.5 millimeter. If I needed a bigger one, I would go 6 millimeter or 9 millimeter. I find multiples of specific sizes. It's one of those things that you can't really perceive, but it's that detail that like is imperceptibly pleasing, where if you looked at it and one was 5 and one was 8 or one was 9, like imperceptibly in your head, you could kind of see the variation, I think, where you don't otherwise. Needs more hexagons. Do the legs hit? Oh yeah, they are hitting, you're right. Let me check the PCB itself. I feel like those legs are probably exaggerated. Where'd I put the PCB? It's here somewhere. I hope. I know it's here. But I feel like those are exaggerated. They can also be snipped to be shortened. Uh-oh. I know it was here. Is here somewhere. I can't find it at the moment, but it is on my workbench somewhere. Joy. I would refer to it if I could find it. It's here. I just don't know where at the moment. So I've been shuffling things around too much this week. I had it in my hand earlier this week, so it's here. Yeah, those are standing, those are contacting, so maybe I'll stand it up a hair higher. I don't think it's an issue. I don't think it's necessary, but hey, it's not going to hurt. I also like putting a small chamfer on the bottom face that touches the build plate, as do I. I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to move this down 0.5, no, not 0.5 millimeter. That's not a layer height multiple. Let's go negative 0.6. Like I said, I'm fairly sure those legs are exaggerated from reality, but I will design around it just in case anyway. Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, now I got to extend these up a little bit. Boop, boop. 0.6. I'll lose these. Now let's go. These should be 3.6 millimeter now. Morning, welcome in Projects in Dad's Garage. Okay, now it's 3.6 millimeter tall. Boop, not 36, 3.6. I'm going to make the base 1.8 millimeters. Nope, I hate when that happens. Sometimes when you select two things to try and chamfer them at the same time. Yep, like that. Fusion will like apply it differently to each of them. So I have to do them separately. 1.8 millimeter, 3.6 millimeter. I like to do chamfers at double height over run. So not a 45-degree angle. I prefer to do a steeper angle personally. Just I find it prints better with less considerations. Chamfer on bottom helps with elephant's foot. Yes, I will be doing chamfer on the bottom. So bottom chamfer, I would do like 0.45 millimeter generally. So one extrusion width. And then 0.8 millimeter tall. Pretty standard for me. Not quite 1 over 2, but close to. And then the top. Chamfer that as well. We'll do 1. Up. What are you fighting? It's because of this. Okay, so what I will do, I'll chamfer the top first. 1, 2, now let's try and chamfer that. So 1.8 by 3.6. Yeah, it's not gonna like that. Let's go 1. Now let's creep up on it. 1.2. Nope, doesn't like it. All right, I got an idea. I'm going to create a sketch. Boop. Sketch created. That's not what I wanted. Create the sketch. I'm going to offset from that 1.8 millimeter, as big as my chamfer is. Finish. Hide that sketch for a moment. Create this 1.8 millimeter by 3.6 millimeter. Now I can chamfer this top edge. One. Ah, damn it. No. Do this first. 1, 2. Now 1.8 by 3.6. Why? Oh, right. Damn it. Okay, I'm getting out of order. Now I'll use that sketch I created to go down, -2, join. Now I can chamfer that part. 1.8, 3.6. Boom. So now I created a little shelf for that to sit on, so I can do that. My inner machinist is screaming at not 45. Yeah, but we're not machining, we're printing. And printing, I prefer to be closer to a 60-degree angle, personally. I find it more printable in every way and faster, because a 45-degree angle here would call for complicated workarounds to create simple geometry. Memoirs of a fusion designer. Yes. A 45-degree angle here, if this is 45 tall, it would call for the slicer would generate solid infill to keep shell thickness. And I don't want that. It'll be faster to print it without that solid infill. So I design with that in mind. Okay. Now I can put that chamfer back on the bottom. 0.8, 0.45. I'm going to chamfer the bottom of these holes too. 0.3 by 0.6. This is all designed around a 0.2 millimeter layer height as well. Let's double check, make sure I'm thinking about this right. I made a few adjustments. Yep, 6.6 millimeter. Cool. And the overall thickness of the base here is 3 millimeter. Perfect. Okay, and I'm going to chamfer these holes too. 0.3, no. 0.4 by 0.6. And let's check this width. Should be, yep, 0.95. So Arachne will make up for that quite nicely. 0.45 double is 0.9, so 0.95 Arachne will make up for that. All right, and that is my oh so complicated. Oh, somebody said we're missing hexes. I know somebody said it, and they're not wrong. So, top surface, create a sketch. You're not wrong. Let's make a circumscribed polygon. I'm going to go from the center of this hole. Bloop. Let's go 7 millimeter. No, let's go 6.5 millimeter. All right. Now I'm going to draw a sketch line from the center of here to the center of here. So center hole to the center of this line. Highlight the whole kit and caboodle. Rectangular pattern. Then I can select direction on each of these. So I can use those sketch lines I created as my direction. Arachne, take the wheel. And move these. And we'll create a hex pattern. Let's go bigger. We got to go bigger. 32 looks pretty good. I'm being a little arbitrary with this. I would usually do a little bit of math. But because I'm just being silly right now, I don't care. Let's go. Wait, I did 32 the other one, right? Yes. Okay, 32. Cool. And now I'm going to create an offset off this face so that it reaches the edge. 1.35. Boop. Boop. All right, cool. And let's select a couple of these. Go down 0.6 millimeter. Bam. We got hexes, because hexagons are the bestagons. Delete that chamfer face there. Now I'm going to highlight all of these insides of his hex, create a little depth in them. This is 100% unnecessary. I'm just being silly at this point. I'm happy now. Good, Josh. 0.3 by 0.6. This one I can highlight the whole thing. 0.3 by 0.6. Same thing here. 0.3 by 0.6. Bam. Now we got hexagons for reasons. We got hexagons for reasons. Great design insights. I feel schooled. All right. I hope you're being serious. I have no idea. I'm going to go with yes. I'm going to fillet this, the base of this, just cause 3mm, same as I did. Just kind of ease this transition to this point up here. Can't have a part on a hexagon with, or can't have a part on a Voron without hexagons or angry eyes. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And there's our part, our oh so complicated part for this PCB, which is our USB adapter for the SB2209 USB. And we're not going to see those hexes at all, but hey, we did it. I definitely learned quite a bit in that exercise. Hey, that's what I was aiming for. So hope it was any help to you folks. So that's, you know, I'm not going to claim that I know how to design or I'm an expert designer, but that's how I design. So we can export this body, save as mesh. I'll save that to my, not there. That's the other project I'm working on. 2.4 rebuild, mods, SB2209, USB. USB adapter board. Oh, I got adapter board V1. Cool. And there's our part. And I think that's that. 60 versus 45 was a good insight. I didn't even think about that. Cool. I switch back to main cam. Yeah, I mean, it's a personal taste thing. Like, I really prefer 60 degrees over 45 degrees coming off of the bed. Because if you're chamfering, like say you just chamfer 0.4 degree, I find that's where you're going to see the biggest issue because you're overhanging so much that your print is going to suffer quality. You either have to slow down due to the overhang angle or part cool more. And I don't really want to part cool more personally, or slow down. So I prefer a 60 degree to keep just ever so, it doesn't look that much different, but it prints way better. So. I like it, similar to how I try to design with 500% less inner design demons. Oh no, the design demons are there. I'm just being abbreviated about it because I'm streaming. If I was designing that myself, it would have taken a little longer. How much part cooling do you use on ABS? It varies. Let's look. It varies because it depends on what machine it is. Because depending on the machine, you know, the part cooling is going to be better. A stealth burner, not that strong a part cooling. My rat rig with the huge server fan, that thing is a monster. So it really depends on the machine in some ways. I'm anywhere from 50, I usually set like 15% at the lowest up to, let me open up one of my Voron profiles and we'll take a look at like what this machine, what I print ABS or ASA, what I cool. Let me switch views so you can see. Wrong one, this one. Okay, so this is my ASA profile, not ABS, but ASA profile, I've got it set to 25% at the minimum, so it's always blowing 25%, up to 45% max or 65% on really steep overhangs. So anywhere between 25 to 65%. On steep overhangs anyway. Generally 25 to 45% part cooling with a stealth burner, which is not a very strong part cooling setup, and that's with a really warm chamber, so you're not blowing cold air. I think I do less on ABS. Let me find my ABS profile. Polymaker, ABS, V0, no. Do I have my ABS profile? I feel like a bunch of my ABS profiles went missing. That was also Polymaker ASA, which I find Polymaker ASA quite forgiving on cooling and happy to have cooling. CookieCAD ABS, here we go. Is she out? Okay, Cookie Cat ABS, 25 to 35%. Yeah, it wants less cooling. So for that, a little less cooling. So I'm gonna wrap up here in a moment, I think. So I'll take care of it. Thank you. Okay. Ruby just came in to check on the dog, so. Lower than 15% can be too low for some fans to kick in. Fair. I usually use a little kick time on my fans, like where they'll ramp up for the initial burst personally. But that is absolutely an issue on some fans. It depends. But I haven't run into a fan where that is an issue in a while, but I also don't have many profiles tuned that low. Like on the Prusa Mark IV, I know on the Prusa Mark IV, that with that new Mark IV's bigger fan that it has, it really moves air. So my ASA and ABS profile on that, I've got like 15% on the minimum, and I want to say 50% on the maximum for like bridging, because that fan will move some air. So, all right, folks, I think that's where we're going to wrap it up for this one. We got the fan or the belts on this thing. I got to work on a few last-minute Toolhead pieces. Good morning. Nye, good timing. We're just about to head out. We got the carriage on here, the Vitali carriage. Thank you to Vitali for providing that. We got the Chaotic Lab gantry setup, CNC gantry on here. New genuine Gates belts. So this thing's looking solid. What's cooking on the XL? The XL is cooking up parts for this Saturday's video. Saturday Mandic Really channel video. That's what's printing right now. So you'll see if you watch the main channel video. It's, let's say, big hexagons. So I can say that. Big hexagons for a wall. So hexagons are the best hexagons. So, all right, folks. Rebuild looks great. Thank you. So I'm going to mess with some more design tweaks for some final parts for this. Have fun meeting the pup. Thank you. Ooh, I didn't even think about that. Sunday stream. Maybe you folks will get to meet the pup too. Sunday morning stream. I'm trying to do Thursday night, Sunday morning streams. So hopefully if the dog's not too much of a handful, maybe we'll have a Sunday morning stream and the pup can come say hi. So, all right, folks. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully next Thursday's stream will be earlier than this too. We get a little more time in. Kittrell, thank you. All right, folks. I'm going to head out. It's been nice hanging out with you. Domino is up and wandering, so there's probably not going to be a Domino outro. Hi, kiddo. She wants to go get her walk on and her dinner. How about DeFore for a name and the D as in for the dog? Yeah, I don't know about that. That one's not ringing with me. I got to meet the dog and then we'll figure out a name. I have a feeling by Sunday we probably won't have a name picked yet. Not sure, but we'll see. You're getting a sister. Yeah, you don't want a sister. That's a lot of why we're getting another dog. Is Domino is 13. She's getting up there in years, and she's really she just sleeps most of the day now. But when she's around other dogs, she gets playful. So we're really hoping that a puppy will help her come out of her shell and be a little more active in her later years. That's the hope anyway. And also to help remove the sting of the eventual passing of this one. I've had her all 13 years of her life, so, that's really going to suck whenever that does happen. So, all right, folks. Thank you for coming around on that wonderful downer of an outro. I meant Defa, as in D for dog. We'll play. We'll play with it. We'll talk about it again, I'm certain. So, all right, folks. I will catch you all in the next one. See ya.
Talk to me.